Good morning, Donalisa.
Morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Let me start.
Good morning. Welcome, everyone. I am online today instead of there with you in person. I want to thank all of you for being here today. For any of you that this is the first time you're here, we are part of the larger Jane Nelson Institute for Women's Leadership at Texas Women's University. They're dedicated to preparing more women to take on successful roles in business and public service. It's three specialized centers: the Center for Student Leadership, the Center for Women Entrepreneurs, and Center for Women in Government ensure women have the education to establish careers as successful executives, the skills for building entrepreneurial businesses, and the framework needed to run for public office. I'd like to introduce our staff. First, we have Donalisa Stinyard. She's there in person with you today. She's our Associate Director. Kimberly Nielsen is your online hostess. She is our statewide program manager. We have Christina Mortel online. She is our small business advisor. And Barbara Ranke is our program coordinator. So what we would like to do is have everybody go around the room and introduce themselves. So Donalisa, if they need any help getting started or what direction, can you help them?
Yeah, so if you can start us, that would be perfect. Lakeisha?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Lakeisha. Do you want me to say anything specific?
Just your name and your business.
Okay, yes, my name is Lakeisha Poole and my business is Black Virtual Career Fair.
Awesome. Next.
Good morning, my name is Rochelle Cummings and my friend and I and my daughter and I have 2 online retail stores.
Awesome. Next.
Good morning. My name is Latrina Parker Hall, and I own Envision Solutions Consulting, a career development business.
I am Alex Murray. I am a women's career transformation coach, and I want to help people transfer their careers so they can transfer their lives.
Awesome. And
Good morning, my name is Swala Sauls and my business is in film production.
awesome. That's our in-person audience, Tracy.
Okay, great. And everybody online, please put your information in the chat as well. All right. Well, now I'm excited to introduce our speaker. Ayisat is the CEO of the Financial Leadership Club of America. She hosts the Small Business Catalyst Podcast and is an Economic Recovery Corps Fellow. She enjoys helping small business owners become resilient. She lives in Dallas and sometimes she's working in Portland as well. So I'm so happy she is here. I'm so disappointed I'm not there with you, but welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and good morning, all of you online. Yeah, thank you so much for doing that, Donalisa. All right, we've all done introductions, and I have a question for you. But before that question, I would like us to. Okay, I've got this nifty thing, so let me see how it works. Do I press the arrow?
Yes, you should be able to.
Yay! Okay. All right. If you can scan this QR code real quick and just take that poll, that would be really, really helpful for me. Everyone online? Are y'all able to take the poll? All right, and I'll just let you. Oops. All right, what are some of your responses?
I'll share.
Yes.
And hi, my name is Kedra Norwood, Eden Rose Consulting. I missed the introduction, but the one thing I would like to not to struggle with is managing the finances.
I love it, managing your finances. Anyone else would like to share?
Sure.
Yes.
I also missed the introduction. Park Mobile sucks. That was terrible. But Samantha with Heavenly Tailored Suites, and I put revenue growth. Like this economy this year has just been killer, and it has been, going the wrong direction. And I'd love to turn that around.
Revenue growth. Anybody else? What about online? What are they saying, Donna Lisa?
If we've got somebody that wants to put their thoughts in the chat, please do so.
Anybody else? What did you pick on the Mentimeter?
I put keeping finances straight, but I would also add revenue growth.
Yeah, I selected revenue growth.
Any response online yet?
I'm Carmen Williams with Wings of Love and Grace, and I said keeping the financial straight along with taxes. Definitely taxes.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much for sharing. And, I know that was supposed to be a secret poll, but thank you for, for keeping it. How many of you are parents online? You can just, the reaction? Anybody? Okay. I'm a mom of 2 kids. I love my daughter. She's very organized. And I love my son. Is the opposite. The first one's there, the trick. They come in and you think, oh my gosh, I got this. And then the second one comes in like, oh my gosh, I do not have this. What was I thinking? Well, my son is 12 years old, great guy. Chores are a little bit things that you have to kind of tell him 3, 4, 5 times before he does. So on Saturday morning, which of course is every child's favorite day to clean up. How many of you have children that are just eager, waking up and going on Saturday morning, let's just clean up, mom. You don't even have to tell me. Anybody? No? Okay, my hands are down too. My hands are down too. But this Saturday, I'm like, hey, David, we really need to clean your room and I need you to do this on your own. I mean, you're old enough now, you can do this. We've done the training, we've done this several times, so go ahead and do it. Well, while it's cleaning upstairs, I'm downstairs. I don't know if I was cooking or doing something, but I'm downstairs doing something. And he comes back probably an hour later and it's like, Mom, I'm done. And I mean, I'm like, he did it by himself. So mom, of course, don't ever trust those kids. I went upstairs and I went to check his room. And when I checked his room, guess what? His bed was laid. There was no bags on the floor, nothing. Like, it was done. Proud mama. Love him. Give him a hug. But for some weird reason, I don't know, call it mama instinct, I decided to look in his closet. I hear people saying amen already, and I ain't even preaching. Yes, I open up the closet, and lo and behold, what do I see?
Everything's
Yo, oh, you've just experienced it. Yes, everything, the chaotic mess, the Legos, the shoes, bags, everything, clothes, everything just there. Nothing was even hung up. Nothing. This room was clean. And I said, David, I like that your bed is laid and there's nothing on the floor. But we haven't even started the work. We need to hang our clothes, put our shoes away, make sure that everything is organized. That's the whole point of cleaning. I share that story with you because a lot of us, I'm an entrepreneur just like y'all, when it comes to our businesses, we do what David did. We shove everything into the closet. What do I mean? Your bank account. You use it for girls' date nights, girls' hangout, business expenses, payroll, virtual assistant, business related, non-business related. I'm not even sure why I'm using my card. Everything goes into one account. Whenever you're doing that, picture my David and his closet. So our first point today is separate. In order for our businesses to grow, we really have to clean up our space. And this closet is really neater than David's. But it was the most presentable that I could put on there. We need to separate our personal expenses from our business expenses. Our business is its own entity. And so it needs to have its own space. It needs to have its clothes hanging. It needs to have its shoes in its place. We need to keep all of our accounts separate. And how do we do that? Personally, I always say have 3 accounts. I know people will disagree with me, but they say success leaves clues. And I've seen successful people do it this way. So I'm like, I'm following their clues. Have a separate account for payroll. Whether you're paying yourself or paying a virtual assistant or paying somebody else, just keep that as your payroll account. And I'll tell you a little bit more about why we're doing this. Also, okay, I'm not gonna click anything. I was gonna click admin, but I don't know how to do that, so I won't do anything. Taxes, because some of you are like, I need to figure out my taxes and operations. Your business, I know for most of us, especially when our businesses are still very young, we put everything back into the business, and that's good. But if we don't have an idea of how much of that we want to pay ourselves, we're gonna go into that account when it's time to, buy a pair of shoes because you have an engagement. You're going straight into that account, even though that may not be a business expense for you. Maybe you have a party and you need, you have that dress that's gorgeous and just those color shoes don't match. If you keep it separate and you've already paid yourself from your payroll account, you know exactly where to go. And so your personal expenses become separate from the business expenses. And that way your business has its own entity. And when it comes to end of the year and your accountant's like, so what did we do this year? You can just say, hey, look, this is my account. You go through it, every expense is there, everything is there. Tell Uncle Sam I'm good. Now, because you're separating your payroll, you can now determine how much am I gonna pay myself? Or you could say, how much can this business afford to pay me? And stick to that. It gives you control over the things that you want to do. And it also gives you a way to determine what do I need to do different. Because if I want my business to pay me $20,000 a month and it can't afford to do that, then I need to figure out, okay, what do I need to do? Do I need to sell something else? Do I need to, add a product, maybe remove non-working products and things like that? It helps you think. And then taxes. Uncle Sam is our beloved uncle. Whether we can see him, feel him or not, whether we have his direct line or not, he has a direct line to us. It will always take what's his, whether you're making it or not. And so when we separate out, I always recommend 25% of whatever you make, just put it aside for your taxes. It will help you with your payroll taxes or whatever it is. You put 25% aside, then you know what? If I want to pay myself a certain amount, then this is really what's left for me to reinvest into the business. And putting 25% aside, it's a good cushion, like it works for me. And I know for a lot of people it works for them. And then, if it's a little over, you need to pay a little bit more. It's not a huge burden because you've already set aside that money. And that's S for separate. So everybody say with me, S for what?
Separate.
So we're going over 5 tips today, and that's the first one, S for separate. The second one, y'all are talking about monitoring your cash flow. Whether you're online or in person, y'all can answer this, and Donna, you can let me know what they say in the chat.
Of course.
How many of you can hold your breath for 1 minute? I won't tell you to do it because I can't. Because I'm not gonna come around and listen to your breathing. Anybody 1 minute? Okay, so we're like, well, what about 2 minutes? Anybody? Is anybody still online raising their hands?
No.
No? Wow. Okay, y'all are way too honest. Yeah, I don't think I could go past a minute myself. I won't even go into 3 or 4, but y'all know that at 4 minutes, right? They say if you don't have oxygen for 4 minutes, you're pronounced dead. And somehow, in our business, what's that air we're breathing in our business? It's the green, it's cash, it's money. Our business relies on money for sustainability. That's the air that it breathes. And so we really need to take good care to make sure that we're breathing in and out in our business, right? Like we're taking those big breaths. Take it with me. So when the next time you're getting paid for your services or your products, you know you're getting in some hair. Might be big breaths, might be short breaths, but you're getting in some hair. In order for our businesses to really grow, we need to monitor our cash flow. Now, it's one thing to know where it's going and separating all of that, but we also need to know what's coming in, right? That involves invoicing for our services. I know a lot of us, you're like, okay, yeah, we did that great thing and, don't pay me. No, I know you know them, you love them, they love you, but please do invoice them. I actually hired a contractor recently and we had an agreement, we had everything in place and, dates, everything set. It was one of those roles where I needed to make sure that whoever I hired was capable of doing that. So we did a test project and I paid him for that. I said, I don't want you to feel like, hey, you're just doing something, you're getting nothing out of it. So, during the interview process, I paid for the test project. And then, of course, he joined me halfway through the month, so I paid him for that. And then last month was his first full month. And 2 days before payday, he sent me an invoice. I already paid him twice. We have an agreement. And honestly, I was so thankful. I thought, this is so professional of him. Now, he has a full-time job and he works for me part-time. But ladies, we need to make sure that when we're offering our services, we're collecting. One of the ways we collect is by issuing an invoice. It lets them know, puts people on notice that, hey, you owe me money for the things I've already done or about to do. So please pay up because I need that to breathe, for the company to breathe. Negotiating favorable terms, it's part of monitoring our cash flow. And I'm completely embarrassed to share this with you, but many years ago when my husband and I started our auto business, we decided we're going to move from sales and we were expanding to a body shop. So you got a body shop. But of course, we decided this space that we saw was not good enough. We needed to touch it up a little because we wanted it to represent us. So we spent thousands of dollars, and I mean, couple 5 figures, upgrading this space that wasn't ours. And it was fun. I mean, we were the best shop in the location and we loved it. He had his office. I loved to go there. Sometimes the kids would go there. I mean, they would work on Saturdays. I'll stop by. It was really nice. We knew we had upgraded the place because everybody that came, there were other stores around us, but our shop was just very different. It was exactly what we wanted it to be. Well, a few years later, the owner sold the shop. The new owner took a look at her and thought, well, this is what they're paying. And this space is really good. Guess what he did? He took the space for himself. He didn't even increase the rent because, yeah, if he had done that, it would have even made sense for we would still keep our space. No, he took the space for himself and there was nothing we could do really. It was his space. And so looking back, I mean, my husband and I, that was a big lesson for us. We did not monitor our cash flow in that process. We didn't negotiate well. We were new to it. And so we were excited. And in all our excitement, we just, put as much money as we could into that. That was not wise for us. So negotiating is very important to your cash flow. We could have negotiated and said, hey, if we ever leave the space, you pay us back this much on the upgrade. We could have negotiated and said, hey, we're going to pay this much less in rent for the next few years and recouped our money. We didn't. We acted in naive excitement. And that happens, but it shouldn't happen twice. So now we don't really upgrade borrowed lands anymore. Cutting unnecessary expenses. I mean, a lot of us, in our personal expenses, or we're doing our budgets, or say, okay, cut off Netflix, or cut off, 5 subscriptions or cut out the gym or whatever you're not using. It's the same with your business. It's good for you to do just a deep dive sometimes and just look and say, look, what do I have that's not working for me? What do I need to cut off? What am I paying for that I don't use? What are those services that I'll rather use free rather than a paid service? Or what are those services that I need to pay for and upgrade what I need to do so that I can be better and charge more? So monitoring that cash flow, building up cash reserve, of course, everyone's always going to tell you that. When you're separating your accounts and you're keeping your money to you and you're keeping some for yourself, you can now think about, okay, what do I need to reserve for this business? Consider line of credit. Keep good records. And so what's S?
Separate.
And M?
Monitor cash flow.
Monitor cash flow. Now the next one, I forgot to tell you this, we're going through a SMART revenue growth process. So we're doing the 5 letters of SMART, S-M-A-R-T. So S is separate, M is monitor, and the next one is affiliation. How many of you are here because somebody told you about this event? This show of hands. Who told you?
The organizer.
What about you?
At a different place and they just told me about it. So.
What about you?
Emails, I get them.
Emails.
Yeah.
What about you?
Email.
Emails. How did you know about that email? Did a friend tell you? Did somebody you know tell you? Or were you just doing your research?
I've been on the list for years.
Okay. So have you told anyone else about this?
Yes.
That's the power of affiliation. You've told a friend, you've probably invited them before. And I don't know about some of you online, I can't read your chats. But I'm
So
guessing.
Somebody said SCORE.
Score.
And somebody said they learned about TWU during a governor's small business summit.
That's the power of affiliation. Your affiliations informed you of resources that are good for you. Now, I was at an event earlier this year. A lady who didn't speak English at all. Well, I'll say very little English. She had a business. And she came into that organization knowing that, hey, if I connect with people, they will purchase with me, they will buy my services. Our business is thriving today because of our affiliation. She's doing great without speaking that much English, but she's taking our money in. And that's the power of affiliation. Our network, it's a cliche, is our net worth. It's true. Where you associate as a business owner is just as important as, is very important for building your business. So whether that's coming to TWU monthly or listening to the, you're reading the newsletter for a reason. You're looking for things that can help your business grow. That's still part of your affiliation. If you can't find one, host an event, look for events that matter to your business, where the potential clients are, or people who would actually share the word, even if they're not your direct clients, or people who would introduce you to your clients. So that could be a chamber, that could be an event like this. It could be a variety of ways. It doesn't even have to be, a regular meeting. And if you're in a meeting or in a space that's not working for you, you don't owe them anything. Find the next spot. Find another one that caters to you or meets your needs or has the association that you need. I mean, I remember when I started my business, when we started doing financial literacy, for years, it was hard for me to just build. And I realized, okay, there are certain target people that I need to meet. And this is where to go. So I would go to annual meetings, like annual events, all the balls and all the stuff, just for the heck of meeting the people that I need to meet. And in one meeting, I was able to meet one elusive decision maker that had been working, I think, 2 years to me. So go to those events, annual events, balls, all of that stuff. Go prepared and have your story, but meet people that you need to meet. So what's S? Separate. And M?
Monitor your cash flow.
Monitor your cash flow. And A?
Affiliations matter.
Affiliation, yes, your affiliations matter. And all of you talking about revenue growth, this is it. For those of you who selected revenue. When we talk about revenue, this really is important for our business. And there are different ways to look at this. Your business is an entity, right? It means that entity needs its own association, its own growth, has its own growth factors. It needs food. Part of that food is the fact that people need to know about your business. I mean, I know a lot of us kind of like, okay, I'm doing this and I've told my friends and family, and that's great. But your friends and family, if they're not buying from you, you're not yet in business. And even if they're buying from you, they shouldn't be your sole, your sole vendors. You need to get the word out. And for some of us, it's hard because we don't want to go out, or, it's just hard. Maybe we're shy, or we don't know where we are, or maybe we struggle with imposter syndrome, or we struggle with, I'm not sure where I am yet. Or we feel we're not there, or whatever the reason might be. You need to start advocating for your business, because you are the person behind that business. And one of the ways we do that is, one, our online presence. Is there anybody here who does not have an online presence? Okay, I won't make you raise your hand. Is there anybody else? Does anybody have an online presence? Absolutely. Your online presence matters. And I'm not saying please be on social media 24/7, no. But at least show up online where people can find you. Because when you tell somebody, I represent this business, the first thing they do is they go online and type to see what you do. If you have a LinkedIn account, let your LinkedIn reflect what you do. Because when people look for you and they're trying to connect, especially on LinkedIn, they want to connect with you and they want to know what you do. And that's the first place where you can say, hey, I'm here, check me out. I mean, I've checked out a few people on LinkedIn and decided, oh my gosh, I really want to connect with that person. I want to have them as a guest on my podcast because I read their profile and I go, this aligns with the mission of what we're doing. So the other thing is, as business owners, we really need to know who is our audience, who's our business for. We're all in business doing different things. So if I'm doing financial literacy, who's my audience? When I did financial literacy, which I still do at times, my consumers are not the same as my buyers. So I speak to college students and high school students, and I do camps and all that. They are the ones that I prepare the products for, but they are not the ones I market to. I market to their parents, to their school administrators, to whoever it is in the procurement department that's buying what I'm selling. That's my real audience. That's my customer. That's my real customer. My audience is different from my customer. So who is your customer? I'm going to ask you to take a minute to just write down who your customer is. Whoever you think it is, whoever it should be. Who are you selling to? Who needs your product or service? Does anyone want to share who their ideal customer is? Yes, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say my customer is basically somebody who's in talent acquisition at a high growth company that's seeking to cast a wider, more diverse net to find top talent.
Thank you for sharing. Does anyone online want to share? Would you add any customers?
We didn't have anybody.
Okay, okay.
Being that I'm in film production, so my target audience, it goes from 0 to whatever age, 100 or whatever. Because based on the film, the movie that we're producing, we're going to target a specific audience. However, in instances such as an animated movie, kids, we're targeting them, but also we're targeting the parents because the parents will be the ones that take them or provide them, access to the movie.
Absolutely. I mean, anybody seen a Disney movie lately, animated Disney movie? Are they for the kids or the parents?
Both.
Both. You would notice there are jokes in there that are strictly for parents only. The kids don't even know that that joke is in there. However, the kids are there and they're enjoying it. Why? They know that the kids are not going to take themselves to the movie theater. And you're not going to take your kids to the movie theater and drop them off and go watch another movie. You won't. So they create their movies in such a way that, yes, the kids are going to enjoy it, but hey, the person who's paying for this needs to enjoy it too. And so, yes, to your point, even though your audience might be 0 to 99 or 0 to 130, I don't know. It's not just about, okay, making it 0 to 99. You're really intentional about who you're selling to. Anybody else? Go ahead.
My customer would be government buyers, event planners, ERG leaders, and small to mid-sized business leaders who have budget authority.
I love that. So you all probably know this. A lot of people talk about your customer avatar. Get to know who your customer avatar is. Give them a name sometimes. I give them the name Lisa. Lisa buys because Lisa, sorry. Nothing about you, Donna Lisa. Lisa is the one who buys, makes purchases for the company. Or Lisa is the CEO who makes the decision. So you might, create it however you want. Draw a figure, speak to Lisa every day in affirmation before you go to any office. Say, today I'm meeting Lisa, even though Lisa's name might be David. But, I'd love, I want Lisa to love like me, and I want to love like Lisa and get to know Lisa and, do business with Lisa. Well, other times we might find out that, hey, what I'm doing here doesn't sell. I mean, I remember even for my when I did financial literacy, COVID happened and I was doing a lot of speaking engagements and that wasn't working. And so speaking really almost died, but thankfully it didn't, because then people switched online, but it took them a while to get online. Well, that was my light bulb moment to pivot. I started creating curriculums because now I'm speaking to a virtual audience and I thought, I don't even have to be here sometimes to present. Or they could buy this. And so it prompted me to pivot and change, adapt to the times, and then create a product that actually sold for even more. Because I could speak one time here, or hopefully I'll come back, but you won't want to see me every month because you don't hear the same thing every month. You're going to hear different people. But I could sell a curriculum and it could be shown to a class and they would have it and show it to every class, maybe every semester or a different class. And so I was able to charge more for that. So in order for our revenue to grow, we need to be, adaptable, sometimes learn to pivot, know who our customers are and who our audience is, and test different markets. So if I'm testing middle schools or elementary schools and that's not working, I'll try middle schools. If I'm testing middle schools and it's working, I could still test out colleges or even high schools. And that's how I was able to realize, okay, well, high schoolers do things differently. They won't come to camp, but they will come to a one-time, speaking engagement or a workshop. My middle schoolers would do camps. That's how we started doing camps. My college students, they want somebody to come in and speak to them this month and talk about their finances and different things. So knowing our customers and our audience, but also learning to pivot as needed. So R is what?
Revenue.
And S is?
Summary.
And?
Monitor.
Monitor cash flow. A? Affiliations, yes. And R is revenue growth. The last one is T. How many of you have heard the word teller or know what a teller is? That's what it used to be called back in the good old days. Your banker was your teller. You know, when you go to, I remember, I mean, I even worked in a bank. When you go to the front, you know, to the counter, you actually talk to your teller, you give them the money, they make a deposit, you know, they give you your receipt and different things like that. Back then they were called tellers, but not anymore. Now they have different roles and they do different things. But how many remember 4 years ago when COVID happened? You know all the stories, right? All the organizations that got money that they shouldn't have gotten. People who went on vacations because of the PPP loan. A lot of that was because they had great banking relationship, nothing else. Now, I remember a friend telling me about his banker actually calling him and saying, hey, this is gonna end very soon. The banker actually did the form for him. Got him on the phone and did that. Small business owner just like us. But he had a good banking relationship with his banker. And guess what? When the loan was forgivable, what did the banker do? Hey, John, you need to fill out this form and this loan will be forgivable. True life, somebody that I know that I'm not using his real name, his name is not John, those of you online. But banking relationships matter and they can do that for you. I know it's convenient to go online and, you know, make your changes, move your money, do this, do that, deposit online, you know, use your phone, scan, go in, and you're done. Convenience is good and great, but relationships move more than the needle. Relationships make great changes. When somebody knows you, what do? They refer someone else to you. They're like, oh my gosh, you're looking for a coach? Oh, I know, what's her name? Lakeisha, right? I know Lakeisha, she's a great coach. She'll be perfect for you. We do that all the time. Bankers do the same. They're human beings working at the bank. They want to know you, they want to like you, and they want to help you. Now, I hate to share this, and I rarely share it, but as a Black woman in business, I know several times where I go to my bank, different branch. Like I live in Dallas. If I went to Wells Fargo in Denton, they don't know me. And if I tell them I want to withdraw $10,000 right now, even if it's a cashier's order, guess what they do? They'll sit me there for like 15, 20, 30 minutes. And I've been in a bank sitting for 30 minutes waiting for my money. And somebody else comes and walks and gets their money. That's more than mine and walks out. And I know my husband's experienced it several times more than I have. And so we've just learned doing business that if we need big cash flow, we don't stop anywhere. Even if I'm right next to a bank, there's no point. I go to my branch. Well, Lisa knows me and attends to me and she's like, oh my gosh, you're back again. Yeah, what can I do for you this time? Gets me my money, no questions asked. I'm out of there in 5 minutes. Because we sell cars, sometimes we go to the auction, we have to give them money and they would say, oh, you know, bring cash or whatever. You want the transaction faster or bring money over there and do this. And you could go to a branch that's not yours right next to the auction and you'll be there 1 hour just waiting for somebody to call somebody else and call somebody else. I mean, I was really pissed and I was like, I don't know, honey, how you do this. I don't know how you have that patience. But he's learned. He goes to his banker. He doesn't mind driving 30 minutes back to his branch, get what he needs to get done, and go back to the auction. That's the power of relationships. And you need to know your banker. I mean, the banks that I care about, I have their cell phone numbers. They do give it to you if they have a relationship with you. Even if you don't have their cell phone numbers, honestly, know their names, know who they are. Let them have your number, let them know who you are. So that when you need help, sometimes it's about just taking that extra step. I remember a guy telling me in the plane, he was like, you know, I needed to buy a car and I didn't have the credit. And my banker said, do this, do that, and the other, and don't worry, we'll do this for a day. We'll just, I don't know what it was, maybe they were just late fee for a day. I don't know what it was, but anyways, for a day, his credit score didn't matter so that they could make that deal. They're human beings, they need to sell, they want to sell. But if they don't know you, they can't make concessions for you. So know your banker. So T is what? Teller. And now we're gonna start with S. S is what?
Separate.
Separate. What are we separating?
Our money.
Our money, yes. Yes, personal expenses from business, love it. M is for what?
Monitor.
Monitor your cash flow. And A,
Affiliation.
affiliations. And R,
Revenue.
your revenue by knowing your customers. And T,
Teller.
yes, know your banker. If you don't know them, make sure they know you. If you don't have their cell phone number, have their branch number. When you go in, say hello to them and call them by name. Make sure they know your name. The third time you go in and you know their names, they're gonna want to learn your name if you don't, even if it's a difficult name like Ayisat. And that's our smart tips to grow our business. So separate, monitor cash flow, affiliations work, network all the time. Find the network that works for you. Have more than one. Grow your revenue and have great banking or teller relationships. And there is more. This is a little bit off topic, but because of the year that we're in, I always like to go over it. I'm sure somebody has spoken about it or you guys have heard about it, but you may not have. How many of you have an LLC, online or in person? How many of you have heard about the BOI report? How many of you have done it? Wow, okay. I can't see you online, but if you haven't filed your BOIR report, we are in November. Especially if you're an LLC or an organization that's registered with the state. The BOI is basically a report that's done by it's under the US Treasury Department, but not the IRS, it's its own entity. And basically what they're trying to do is they want to know you small business owners. They want to know that your company that is registered by a company, that's registered by a company, especially real estate is a big deal, that they know who's behind it. It's very simple. I actually did an episode on this on my podcast, Small Biz Catalyst. I think it's episode 5 or so. You want to listen. Very, very easy to do. You just go online, you file at fincent.gov/BOI. It takes about 5 minutes. It took me 10 minutes because I was doing a video and doing it at that time. But honestly, just doing it by itself, it's about 5 minutes. It's the lore. If you don't have this by January 1, if you've been in business prior to 2024, you have this whole year to register. Don't wait till December 31st. You know their website's gonna break. So go ahead and do it today. That's my assignment for you. You have till January 1, 2025 to be registered. If you registered your business this year, you have 90 days. And a lot of people don't know this. You have 90 days to be registered. It takes just 5 minutes. You just want to know that you are the person behind that business. So if you're not paying your taxes, you know who to come to. Oh, did I say that? It's for record keeping and to fight money laundering and things like that. So I wanted to share that. If you haven't done it, I want to encourage you to go ahead and do it. If you want more information, you're going to get these slides. So you have this information, but write it down as well. Put it in your phone. And my call to action today, I typically have one, but let's be overachievers, right? I feel like I'm in a room full of overachievers because when you're with women, you're the midst of power. I want us to take time to describe our avatar. Who is our customer? And then when you know your customer, where are those places that you want to expand to? And if you don't know your banker, schedule a date with yourself right now that you're going to go to your bank specifically to meet. Say, hi, I took a class and I was advised it's good for me to know my banker. My name is Ayisat. I'd like to get to know you. You don't have to give me your cell phone number today, but I'll be coming here more often. So you might want to know my name. Just as simple as that. You can even use that verbatim. And let's not go into the next slide. Any questions?
Is there some? Yeah.
Yeah.
That third line.
The only thing at the bottom of the last
Yeah, it was covered up that last.
Oh, I'm sorry. Basically, open up your calendar, schedule a date with your banker or a date to meet with one of your bankers. And you all know you should have more than one bank, right?
Yes.
I have a credit union, a bank, and a big bank and a small bank.
And is your contact on here too?
Yes, that's next.
We'll do that and then we'll do Q&A.
Absolutely. And so just to let you know, you guys, my name is Ayisat Abilogun. I'm a mom of two. I'm an entrepreneurship development professional, not just a fellow anymore. And what that means is I got the highest certification in my industry to work with entrepreneurs. My passion is ecosystem building. And what that means is creating a garden around entrepreneurs, having resources to surround them, available to them. I'm the CEO of Financial Leadership Club. I've been in the business for over 20 years. I've had my business for more than 5 years. And I also host a podcast known as Small Biz Catalyst. I've written, I think, a book, one workbook. I do speak, and I do like to be involved in my community. Yes,
Can you go back to the first 2 slides for me, please?
absolutely.
From the beginning, we're gonna send out the slide deck to everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, that's next. If you click on this, you can go ahead and request the slide deck. It's a QR code. It takes you to the website, but all the way in the bottom, just put a note, I'd like a slide deck, and I'll email it to you personally.
Okay, thank you. There's.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
There's the slide one deck, the
Yeah.
slide deck again.
Yeah, we don't need the last one. It's just my LinkedIn. People can connect with me on LinkedIn. They can find me on LinkedIn. Yeah, I'll let you do the Q&A.
And there's her connection, if anybody wants to connect with her.
Yeah, there's just
You
subscribe.
said at the bottom.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, and at the bottom, the very last bottom where it says,
It's before the very bottom.
oh, sorry.
See, to become a guest on the show.
Yeah, right after that, in the bottom.
There's the slides again, really quick,
It's just
for our
above the
online
subscribe.
audience.
Above subscribe.
Yeah, so you go to the very, very bottom where it says subscribe and then go up just a tiny bit. And it says send me a message.
It's not showing it on.
Let me see.
I see submit your message.
Yeah, that's, you fill out that, right?
Yeah, yes. You can log in.
All right, so we're gonna stop share. And Kimberly, I know we had a couple questions in the chat.
Yeah. The first question is, did you say that we have to have another account for payroll in addition to our business account?
Yes, so you have 3 accounts. One of them is your operating, one of them is your payroll, and the third one is your taxes. Now, your payroll could be your personal account where you'd say, you know what, I want 10% of the revenue from this business to be my payroll, or I want X amount of money to be my payroll, and you transfer that. The reason you do that is, one, it helps your banker know that, hey, you're serious, you pay yourself regularly. So they really consider your account as a business account. It actually helps when you don't have a clutter account in order for you to get loans sometimes, because they're looking at what are those things that are coming out of here? Are they all business related? Are they personal? Are you serious or you're not? So yes, your payroll could be a personal account, or it could just be a separate payroll account where you pay everyone that works for you, including yourself.
That clear? Awesome. Do we have any questions in the room? Yes.
So you talk about LinkedIn, but then also know your like target market. So I'm more business, like or like a service. So chiropractic, I'm looking more towards moms. I haven't done a LinkedIn because I'm like, I don't know that people look for me on LinkedIn. Would it be still beneficial to do a LinkedIn? Like, or I feel like if you have all of them, it's just a lot of work. So
It
can we
is a lot
just
of
focus
work.
on like certain ones.
So if your target audience is hanging out on Instagram
Yeah.
or Facebook, that's where you should be.
Okay.
But if your target audience, if you're selling to other businesses, it's great to have a LinkedIn account, even if you don't monitor it regularly.
Okay.
But if you're working with moms, like there was a time I was on Facebook because I was working directly with parents, and so specifically parents of college kids or high school kids. And so I would hang out on Facebook. I don't even know the password to my Facebook anymore.
I wish I didn't know.
Next question.
Next question.
We have one online, Donalisa, if there were suggestions for accounting software that actually handles all three accounts, your business, your personal, and your payroll.
Wow, I don't like to recommend one in particular because here's the thing, what works for you may not work for me. If you're just starting out, just keep in simple Excel spreadsheet. If that's what works for you, do that. If you like QuickBooks, and some people say I like QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks this way, or I like, something else, do what works for you. Don't do what everybody's trying to tell you to do or what they're trying to sell you. Honestly, if pencil and paper works and you keep it consistent, do that. Like I have notes in my phone that are specifically recording my personal expenses to make sure I don't go over. So do what works for you. For my business, I use a software, I use QuickBooks, but honestly, I know people say, oh, this is so hard for me. And that, I'd help people go and clean up their QuickBooks. The idea is not for you to become an accountant. The idea is for you to just have clean records that your accountant can work with. That's all that matters.
And take into consideration monitoring your cash flow, because right now you might not can afford a specific format.
Yeah.
And it's just cheaper for you to do it on Excel.
Yeah.
So you can take that money and put it somewhere else,
Absolutely.
right?
And Excel works great. I love Excel. Yes.
I actually had a note on that. Everybody uses all these different programs. I'm like, I use a combination of I created an Excel sheet that I use for most of my stuff. And then I also have paper for the money coming in because I really like writing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is good. All the expenses, I have an Excel sheet and I type it in. But then I also keep, when I finish my profits for the month, I'll put that into the Excel sheet. So I have it, but I like writing it down.
It is more important for you to be consistent than it is for you to have a system that works that you're not consistent on. Because when you're consistent and you're consistently tracking everything, that's when you have a good picture of your business. So don't worry if you're doing Excel or a QuickBooks or Great Plains or whatever it might be. Don't worry about the fancy tools. Do what works for you consistently.
Awesome. Any more questions online, Kimberly?
There is, I'm sorry, let's see, the chat's is active, so I'm getting back to it. Should startups consider fintech or other online financial banks as a banking solution? I think your answer is probably going to be get there in person.
Well, actually, my answer is going to be do both. If you have an account online that's paying you more in interest, which is still very low these days, you can have an online account, but definitely have a banker that you go to that knows you and can call you when they need business too. Because it goes both ways. You want to know your banker, and yes, you are definitely allowed to have more than one. So maybe you want to use that online account for your payroll account or for something else, but have a bank that knows you where you can go, look, I've been here for 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, and you guys haven't done much for me. What do you have for me? And they can sit with you and go, oh yeah, we see you all the time. Let's see how we can help you.
Awesome. Yes.
I was wondering about the woman-owned certification. Do you have that? Would you recommend that?
So I am working on my women-owned certification. Shame on me. However, I have my SAM registration because I wanted to do business with the government. So I do have a SAM registration, and I told them I think I am women-owned, but I'm not certified. They do want you to be certified, but that doesn't stop you from getting those grants sometimes, or doing business with them. But yes, that's my goal for this year, is to get my women-owned certification.
We highly encourage you to do that up here.
Yes.
We've got several. In fact, it's something that we do it for WomenRISE every year. We always talk about getting women-owned certified.
If you guys have a list of the links, so there's so many websites that you could go through, so I'm like, I don't know.
So you wanna, so we work with the Women's Business Council Southwest.
Okay.
That's who you wanna reach out to, because there are some other places that will do the paperwork for you. It's really easy to get caught up in somebody helping you to do it and it costing way more than it
Right.
does. I think the last time, if I remember correctly, Tracy can correct me if I'm wrong, I think Lindsay said it was like $350. And that gets you, they get you women-owned, certified, minority, and there's a couple of other ones that they have as well.
Okay.
So definitely check out Women's Business Council Southwest.
And I'm gonna check them out.
And if you're not in this territory, you can go to the Women Business Council, the big website, and it'll give you which region you're supposed to be in. So,
Are you guys able to send that out as a link?
yes.
That would be really great.
Yes, I can send the link to that and the video replay for that, so that everybody can get that information.
Thank you.
And is that yearly or is it,
It is yearly,
okay.
It's $350 yearly.
yes. But that's how you do business with government. If you know, I'm not gonna preach it, but the governments have a lot of money that they allocate to women-owned certified businesses. So if you're not women-owned certified, you can't advocate for that money through your government, through the county, through the school systems. So definitely connect with our business advisor, Christina Mortel. She can definitely get you connected with that.
One last question. On that. Whenever you get certified, is there like okay, you paid your money, you're certified, or is there like a timeline? Now you have to wait until you get the certification.
No, the way that I understand it is you submit, you go online and you submit the paperwork, and they help you get all the different paperwork that you need. It is a process, and then once you do that, then you pay for that $350, and then they do the certification. What was the lead time on that last time? I think she said was 4 to 6 weeks.
About 6 weeks.
And then you're certified.
Thank you.
I've researched it, just never took the next step.
Right, me too. I have tabs open of like different.
So
ones.
add that to your call to action.
Yes.
Our last slide is to get women-owned certified, so. Any other questions online? You're muted, Kimberly.
Well, you know, Donna Lisa, muting and recording will be the death of me.
Yeah.
No, I think we have covered all of our questions online.
Okay, perfect. Well, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was nice to meet all of you online. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for coming. We've enjoyed having you so much, and those takeaways are wonderful. So I can't wait to see you in person next time.
Me too. Let's do coffee.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
You bet. Thank you, everyone, for being here today.
Can I get a picture of all of you online, please? Could I get a picture of all of you online? I always tell my mom what I do, and she's like, what do you talk about? So yes, it's always nice to show my picture and say, look.
We have 2 pages online. So you take the first one, and then Donna Lisa will skip to the second page, because if you can turn your cameras on, do, although there's no pressure if you can't turn your camera on.
No pressure, but it'll be nice to see your faces. And then when
Give
I
us-
put on LinkedIn,
Oh,
I
look
can-
at that. They're all.
Oh
And
wait,
then
I should
here's-
be in the picture too.
Oh, wait, let me do this.
Okay.
All right,
All right,
1,
let's see.
2, 3.
That's not.
And then let me get your next slide.
Yes.
There's your next group. Look at all those ladies. I love it.
Thank you so much for joining me.
All right, I'm gonna